Yo. It is Let's Talk Battle Rap. I'm your man, Titus. You know what I'm saying? You know me from Toxic Titus Tuesdays, just Titus Tuesdays, formerly Toxic Thursdays, but I'm a reformed gentleman. This is LTBR Thursdays, and I'm a better person than I was before. I'm not the man I used to be. I'm here, man. Talk some redemption. This is a RecAPPables episode, a classic RecAPPables episode. Shout out to Dylan, man, one of the original hosts of this. But I got my man, yo, Q, what happened? Is everybody saying that? Q, you good?
Hey, yo, what the fuck
is going on over there, bro?
Hey, yo, nah, that's nuts. Hold on.
Stuck in a, that was the real, like, one of them horror movie openers right there. That was one of the real, like, that horror movie where they was all on the video. That's what just happened. Yeah, I'm clipping that. Yeah, I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that part of the intro. That was wild. Q, can you hear us at least?
I think so. Can y'all hear me?
Okay, yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Okay. All right, you back.
Yeah, you back in the land of the living.
Yeah.
All right, that was wild.
I'm clipping that. That's gonna be the opener clip.
that was crazy.
That was a great intro. But yeah, here with me, man, my bro, my longtime podcast, LTBR podcast partner, and Boston Mento Kings fan, Q, in the building with me.
Yeah, I prefer Sawston. I'm not sure. Nah.
I don't know why. I don't like the way that sounds, but I don't like it. Something about it makes me not like it. I don't know why.
Yeah, not feeling that one.
Nah, something about it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Not gonna lie, I said it, and I was like, "Damn, I don't like how that shit sounds. That sounds crazy." But like, I committed to the bit already, so I had to do it. So I had to do it.
You had the name, you had to go with it. I understand.
Nah, but what's up with you, bro? I'm glad to be doing some battle rap podcast shit again.
Yeah, man. And then in the other seat, we got the homie, the Rook, got the tier of the legend of group chat slander, J Smo in the building. My guy, what's up,
y'all, man? I'm hitting that sophomore season soon, I think, man. You know, I've been in that rookie title for a minute, so we getting there. But I love, it's an honor to be here as always, man. Love shooting content, love battle rap, and we get some real good drops to talk about. So happy to be here.
Facts. We are here to talk about Redemption 2. Shout out to URL for doing a full event drop in the on Monday. That was very nice of them. So we can go ahead and get this whole event done. Because we LCBR, we know what happened. We didn't know what happened. Now you know what happened. Yeah, man. Redemption 2. Overall, I think this event was probably a 7. In the building it was like a 7.5 maybe.
Yeah, you should remind people that you were like there in attendance for all this, like, so like you can like get a pretty good feel for the room.
Right,
so, like, how like full was this event? Because this wasn't like a big card, but you had things like Trez and John, which like meant a lot to that city and that region for battle rap. You had Geechi on the card. Slade versus Suge on the card. So like, how did the energy feel in the building for the event?
The energy was pretty solid. I will say it was kind of a bit of a classic URL where it started mad later than it was supposed to. Like doors was open at 2. I think we got in the building at like 4. It's like, all right, like 3 or 4, something like that. Yeah. But once they got in the building, the event started rolling. The crowd, it wasn't packed in there, to be totally honest, but it was a decent like crowd you would expect for that kind of event, right? It was a solid crowd. And Center Stage, I would maintain Center Stage Theater is one of the best venues in battle rap because if you want to sit down, you can sit down. Like it's seats all around there. It's like a real pit area and then it's just seating. It's like, ooh, this is amazing. It's a great feeling right now.
For those that haven't been to events, though, that seating is a whole different ballgame compared to a straight standing event. If y'all haven't been and y'all think it's sweet, it definitely isn't. So I'll let y'all having that, man.
Yeah, all the stories about event feet is real, bro. Like, don't come to the event trying to look. I'm in an event trying to be comfortable. I'm bringing my comfortable shoes. I might wear some New Balances to the next one because I want my feet to feel good. Personally, that's what I believe in. I believe in your feet feeling good and being able to walk in a comfortable manner when you go home. But yeah, man, the venue was fire. The only thing with Center Stage is they got alcohol, but they really got no food. Like you can buy some Chex Mix. You can buy some Chex Mix with your drink, but that's about it. So.
But did they have any like cool food spots like next to the venue or? Yeah,
the venue's in Midtown, so like it's plenty of spots to eat. Yeah, like, Midtown's a pretty nice area, so it's plenty of spots to go grab food. And if you want, you just gotta plan your trip out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I go up there Sunday for Kings versus Queens. I'm probably gonna. I was thinking about just staying the night, spend the night up there, and just going around Midtown. But that's probably what I'm gonna do. Stay in Midtown, get some food, come back home Monday, whatever. But yeah, plenty of spots. There's a parking deck under right where the venue is too, so you ain't got to worry about that if you get there in time. If you don't get there in time, good luck, because that parking lot gets full. It's over with for you. But no, it's solid, man. It was a solid event, a solid night. Let's start, man. Let's get straight to. Let's just start with the 30s, all right? Because this card had a nice blend of back and forths, a little bit of that was a battle, and the bodies and the body bags, and the body bags were all of varying degrees of funny. Geechi, Gotti, and J Millz happened. It's supposed to go down at Civil War 3, but it got pushed back to this card, and Gotti won pretty comfortably while making it known that he wasn't really trying, which kind of made it funnier, honestly. Don't know why.
It seemed like he was trying to embarrass J Millz, which he successfully did.
Oh, he did that very well.
He did that very successfully, but I got the impression the entire time, like, I'm gonna make him look as bad as possible. And I can only imagine if that happened at Civil War, like it was supposed to, because Civil War was a really good event too, with a really good crowd up until the Slade and Rock shit. Like, I could only imagine how much worse it would have been at Civil War.
Oh, that would have been disgusting, honestly. Yeah. That would have been really disgusting, because I think, and someone texted me this, and I'm not going to name them, but they were like, J Millz, the crowd, the Atlanta crowd can never be talked bad about again, because they sat there during that J Millz first round, didn't say a word. They just sat there quietly and listened. And that's what happened, you know? The thing about the Atlanta crowd is getting booed is like, you had to do something that we just didn't like. But if you're just bad, we'll just start talking about our evening. We'll start planning out the post game. Like, what happens is when you realize you're not doing anything, like, yo, you trying to get some wings after this? Where you want to go? That's what happens when you're not good in Atlanta. Like, we're just gonna start talking about other stuff.
How many people was in the building too? Would you say?
Probably a few hundred. I might give it 2, 3, maybe. Yeah. I'm not good at the estimate. I'm not good at the estimates. I'm really bad at estimates.
Yeah, to keep a few hundred people consistently quiet through 3 rounds is like, it's almost like anti-crowd control, really. Right. But it is a battle that we kind of predicted to go in this direction. You don't want to harp on it too much because you know what it is to start out with. But Geechi, what would we say, about maybe 50%, 60% if we're being super generous at that. Yeah. And just, it was really a troll battle. So every once in a while you get a meme to come to life. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call it a cringe classic, but Geechi won. So
Gotti. Yeah, Q, to your point about him trying to like embarrass Millz, they dapped up like a really good, strong dap after the event. I'm like, J Millz, I want to talk to him right now, because that man just the ad libs were enough. A man telling you, hurry up, man. They ready to go. They're ready to go to the next battle. Hurry up.
I'm not taking the post battle picture. I'm not doing I'm not doing the smack stand in the middle and we pose. Like, no, fuck that. We're not doing that.
Absolutely not. That man spit his only haymaker with the white with the cocaine stuff, and the pussy baby came out mixed, and then said, I didn't want to use that, but I had to give him one.
Yeah, like I had to,
bullshit throwaways.
I had to give y'all something, because I can't come over here with nothing. Like, I can beat him with nothing, but I shouldn't show up here with just nothing.
I respect Gotti respected us enough to bring something.
Yeah, man.
To not give us like a 3-round stumbly thing, because he could have J Millz and 30 them. Y'all know the Geechi Gotti bag. It's not just like
that Geechi third versus Snake Eyes.
Exactly. He could have done that and hit us with it for like 30 seconds. And still won 3-0. But he gave us something to remember. He made the battle fun. Not giving that much. So yeah, Gotti 3-0. J Millz, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what's next. Because, I can say put him in a small room, but I've seen him in a small room, and it also hasn't moved much either.
The reality is that he shouldn't. It's hard to say like who we should be battled against, because we saw him on the Straight to It stuff. He didn't look good on Straight to It. And now we've had him on stage twice versus names like K-Shine and Geechi. So there actually isn't any like situation with J Millz where I've been okay. Like J Millz should stay at a certain level of competition because everywhere we've put him at, J Millz hasn't impressed and has gotten kind of cooked. So, like, it's getting to the point with Millz where I'm not sure what the deal is with him getting booked.
Yeah, it feels like, because I don't believe he's necessarily a draw, right? I think it's more of a respect thing, and I respect the respect thing, but I also feel like to a point we gotta give dudes. I feel like his ego's not gonna allow him to take battles that he should take, which would be younger talent that's not as developed, because that's in battle rap. Honestly, that's, in modern day battle rap, that's kind of what he is. He's an underdeveloped, newer talent, right? Like his history is what it is, but we're looking at, you look at these guys he's battling, like Sean, BK, Geechi just now. Like these are the advanced, high level, high people that are in battle rap right now. It's not a level you can play on, my brother. Like you might need to take a step down, Smo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Battle J Murda. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely, there's a little bit of varied comp in there. Kind of not that I have respect for J Murda as a talent, but I'd say that maybe even going more in the mid-tier direction, even that battle looked a little better for him, but it's hard to tell a guy, as he said a million times on stage, who just did 7 million on Bedrock to go and take someone that's an up and comer. I can understand mentally for him why it's a step down. And on top of that, it just isn't a battle. I don't think people are asking necessarily for like, oh, Swervo just got a big win, go take J Millz or J Millz being a part of someone's come up. So if he gets booked again, listen, never want to stop someone's bag. There is definitely a little bit of a draw to him. We all know, you know what I'm saying? We all know J Millz. But in terms of battling, I think he is who he is skill set wise. And you either just keep showing respect for him or you let it fizzle out. So I don't know what the next step is for him, but I think we know who he is as a talent at this point.
Yeah, I have an idea for him, but I feel like I shouldn't say it on air. So I'm going to say that when we go off here.
I'm not going to lie. Like, y'all almost fucked me up when like I started going, and I caught myself. Y'all fucked me up just now.
That was a good moment. That was a classic. That was a real in-house moment. I was professional. I'm proud of you. Next 30. This 30 featured a cigarette being lit to 3-0 chants before rapping your third round.
Jesus Christ, man.
Swamp, Carolina. Him and Qleen, a battle that's been booked 4 times, I think. We on 4? 3,
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and it finally happened, and it was a very easy night for Swamp. The one difference between this battle on camera and on stage is that I didn't get to hear. I mean, when you're in the build, you don't get to hear like the things the battler is saying, because these mics, I don't know what happened. I don't know how they got so amplified for the cameras, but you hear everything now. So like hearing someone be like, they don't need to be motivated for shit like this. I don't get it. I'm supposed to be motivated for this. Look at him. Like, how I'm supposed to get motivated?
Why am I
rap
here?
These rounds? Yeah. Why am I here? Like, it was nasty work, man. It really was. This was a nasty 30. Qleen. I don't think we need to be booking Qleen back to back like this. Right, I think that's an error. That's an error in booking. Like, I know he probably thinks he can do it, but he very clearly cannot do that.
The thing with me for this is like, it just sucks to see Qleen have a year like 2022 where people were arguing for him as a possible champion of the year list guy, and to come back and have 2 pretty high, like pretty decent names to start the year off with Ace and Swamp.
Yeah,
and the Ace battle had other issues that prevented that from reaching its full potential. But even like from all the stuff that like we've heard about, it's not like Qleen's material was super great in that Ace battle. And then the Swamp one here just showing up versus one of the hottest names in battle right now and just completely shitting the bed. Like you worked so hard in 2022 to get your name and value back up, to even be put in positions like this, to even like be talked about. Oh, maybe we can get Qleen versus Goods. Like to even have these type of conversations even happening. And so for you to come out at the top of the year like this is like, come on, man. Like what was the point of last year then?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's it clearly, we know what it is at face value. I mean, a multi-choke performance, and especially the way that he handled the crowd to the point that it didn't look like the chokes even came from a lack of prep at times. It looked like he was literally just like spooked by hecklers. I think he even talked about that a little bit. He's just not used to that situation. I think that's something that has to be taken into account, is that there is this long-standing talk about the potential of Qleen, and if Qleen had just these opportunities and stayed consistent, he'd be top tier. But after years in the game, I mean, there's a few different performances in front of him, in front of large crowds, none that stand out up to this point. Most of them are actually closer to this than they probably are being good. And then on top of that, he's definitely good in a small room, but it's really situational. You know, he can be entertaining in a battle. It's really based around entertainment. But in terms of on a competitive level, I would say that, you know, the Geechi battle turned out pretty decent for him, but after some gatekeeping work, he's got an ace now. He's gotten Swamp. As you said, you know, we kind of, due to the bumping, you know, some things like, okay, well, we'll let the ace one go for now. And then you get here and it's a complete 0 out of 10 performance. And Swamp wasn't that crazy. His second was great, but his first really just wasn't. It was very beatable. Like, in theory, if Qleen came prepared, maybe he could win, make this battle competitive, but instead he showed up with a nothing, and you just can't do that at this level of battle rap.
Yeah, one of my highlights for Swamp was in the first. I like when Swamp's grumpy with battle rap and him doing a battle he feels he's above. That's one of my favorite Swamp archetypes, because he's just ranting for at least his first 30. He just rants about everything going on in battle rap. He's just like, yo, Smack, why are you doing this to me?
He threatened retirement in this battle. I know he's tweeted it before, but he said, I ain't gonna lie, the politics of having you want to retire. I'm like, brother, you at work right now. So that just goes to show how Swamp currently feels about, you know, getting plates like this where he's a competition. I can't blame him.
Nah, but I think the positive thing for Swamp in this is that this could very easily have been a nasty battle all around. But he showed up to do his job. And for a battle, he clearly kind of expected his opponent to not be on the level, because he kind of, you hear him saying it basically. He didn't expect Qleen to be Qleen in the battle. Yeah. And he still showed up, did his job. I'm like, I think if you're getting somebody you're supposed to beat, who's an overwhelming underdog, the best thing you can do is put him in the dirt like he did.
Yeah, like you got to, or if for a battle that you're not motivated for, we get it. Like, not every battler generates the same level of motivation for people. So instead of having another Arsenal battle on your resume, you know, okay, have at least like 1 or 2 highlight rounds, so we have something to go back to, as where the Arsenal battle has like nothing to go back to.
Right.
In the second, also good versus Qleen, it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I also want to hide the degree of difficulty. I don't smoke, but I imagine smoking a cig and then wrapping around Qleen is just a impressive thing to do. Seems difficult. He did it very smoothly. Also, that's supposed to be a no smoking venue. It didn't matter. It was hilarious, honestly. Supposed to be a non-smoking venue. Nothing. It was just, you left with that good battle rap aroma.
Like 90% of these venues are like no smoking, but
yeah. We left with that good battle rap. That good battle rap aroma when you leave a venue. Yeah, only degenerates enjoy that. That's how I know I'm a real degenerate. I'm like, my hoodie smells like this whole venue. It's a good day.
I mean, I can see the smoke in the air. It's
exactly.
Great event.
Yeah, it's a good day. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to the girl who was in the seat ahead of me, who was trying to relight her little blunt 33 times. I'm like, yo, it's done. That's finished. You gotta let that go. You gotta pull out a new one. That's done. That roach is finished.
Yeah, that's over. I know you're trying right now, but like,
yeah, you trying real hard. That's a wrap. Yeah, let's get to the closest battle on the app, the biggest back and forth. Well, according to the app, the one that's got the app in shambles, the fan bases, Charlie Clips and Danny Myers. Currently, Danny Myers has a 2-vote lead. It's 579 to 581.
Yo, man. So when Clips and Cal happened, and we know how long it took for Clips and Cal, those volume battles to drop on the app. I remember distinctly being on the phone with France and Titus about like what the reaction is going to be to this battle when it drops. And I'm like, Clips is going to win this battle when it drops. And they're like, nah, man. Nah, Clips was terrible in this battle. He can't win when it drops. I'm like, man, it's Clips. Like, you can never understate Clips' power when it drops, whether it's YouTube, the app, wherever. The cult of Clips goes wherever he goes. If there's a battle, the Clips fans are there, and he ain't lose. Once again, we have another instance of if Clips battles and his fans see it, he ain't lose. So it's funny to see like your reaction to it and other people's reactions to it, saying that they had Danny winning. But look, man, the cult of Clips is undefeated. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
There's hope. Me and the Icons only down 2 votes. You know what I'm saying? Me and the Icons, I put down my sword. I said, hey, there's a greater cause happening right now.
Yeah,
it's bigger than Nino Brown.
Yeah, you a yiker this time. This is
like I'm with him. I was with him because the
honorary yiker.
Yeah, like the
specific battle.
Yeah, this is the time we had this come together and put aside our petty beef for the greater good of society. But what y'all think about this battle? So go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just come out off top. I don't like this battle. And going into it, there was things that worried me. Just a little bit of a randomness to the matchup, and a battle that I could see it playing out like was DNA versus Danny on the strike card for, you know what I'm saying, if you guys remember that battle. And that wasn't like a just straight out like terrible battle, but it was flat. They're definitely rhyming pretty standard name flips and what material they could come up with each other, but there's no real grudge. Kind of a weird style matchup. And this was like that, but I would say more on the cringe classic side, because while I do have Danny winning in the second and the third, and I think as kind of most people, should. I mean, you have clips that's really not showing effort past the first round, and debatably not that much in the first round either. But Danny Myers was not very good this battle either. Danny Myers' first round is full of all types of early big stage Danny airs, like the DNA battle. So with some weird content to open about Clips' grandmother and mother and some sexual acts he would want to commit on them, which did not land in the building. Pretty much all 5 of his rebuttals landed as extreme air balls. It was just, even though Danny won this battle, it's kind of advertised as like, oh, Danny really leveled up in the second and the third. And while his second has some spots, I would say that he won because somebody kind of had to win. But just a real mucky battle both ways, and kind of has me worried about both of them going forward in terms of Clips' effort going into his next few battles and who Danny even takes next. So not a big fan, but Danny 2-1.
Yeah, I echo a lot of Smo's thoughts there, where like Danny didn't do a ton to overly impress me here. We've seen low effort Clips, Charlie Clipses before. So this was a battle where I came in expecting a low level Charlie Clips, and whatever we got from this battle was going to be based off of, okay, and what's Danny going to do here? Because I kind of feel like we all knew like Clips wasn't going to put his best effort forth. And even knowing and expecting that, Danny still didn't really bring anything to overly impress me here. Like Smo said, some moments in that second round, but other than that, I'm not really like feeling anything that Danny was doing for this entire battle. And I feel like because of that randomness to it, there's like nothing interesting to say. This is like going to be the third form of a battle they had already. This is just a bunch of things that get run into the ground and redundancy issues, and you're just left with trying to find all these different name flips and things that aren't landing. This was a bad Danny rebuttal battle. I've talked about it before, where Danny gets put in this elite rebuttaler conversation, but if you really look at the like percent, if you really kind of like analyze it in a basketball shooting sense, if we were shooting threes, like Danny's rebuttal rate would be like someone shooting like 32% or 33% from three. Like people have this idea if he is like an elite rebuttaler shooting at like a 42% rate, like he's Klay Thompson or some shit. But it's really like some Luka Doncic taking hella difficult step backs, so he's shooting 33%.
Like and Luka on the France network. That's exciting.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah,
but like that. But that's kind of what Danny's rebuttaling is. So if the rebuttals aren't landing, then you're just kind of looking at him, and when his material is up, when his written stuff is up to par either, you're just left with a battle like this that's kind of middling.
And one of the rebuttals too, and this just goes to show one thing to not land, but shout out to Danny and his daughter at the battle, which I actually think is a beautiful thing. But in terms of the battle, who you're going up against at that and Charlie Clips, and what this man is notoriously known for freestyling and things of that nature, on the moment stuff, and to kind of pull your daughter front and center stage, you got Goods fake running across. I just thought that was even a weird IQ move, and those are kind of the weird things in this battle, where outside of there's some moments like we talked about the if factor factor in the second by Danny. I thought that was a tailor-made angle. That was original material. And clips in the first with the BC and AD, before Christ and after Danny. So there's little moments of creativity because these are some all-time greats. But there was no motivation. And what it leads to is just a weird structured battle where there's randomly people pulled in, randomly people are stumbling, bad setups, bad rebuttals. There's a lot more bad than good to this battle, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I'm here with y'all, man. I had Danny 2 and 3 kind of clean. I like the second round. I like the if factor, of course, because that's my whole thing on this like Charlie Clips thing right now. Is that Calico battle? That second round, it bothered me to my core. Like, what is happening right now? What is going on in the world? So the if factor thing, you know, relating it to B Magic Twerk and those guys, things like that, and the bar he had, I think it was in the second where he said we got some homeboy didn't slide. He said he had slippers on, so we slid on him. I was like, that's fire. I like that. I like that bar. I was rocking with that, man. Nah, I like that. I slid on him. I like that.
To be fair, Titus is also someone that I'm not gonna say likes the Hitman bar, but doesn't hate the Hitman bar.
I think it should be the year of slide up bars. I think we need to bring the slide up on people's bars back. I'm here for the slide. We did let Qleen get the I did in a Tesla, so it's an electric slide bar off. We did let him get that one off, and I feel like now we've just like kind of gone downhill since there. Yeah, bring slide bars back. I'm here for the return to the slide bars. I am.
I think the slide. It's not even necessarily like using the word slide, but it's kind of, and maybe this is like a phonic thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's using slid and slide, like using either two of the same words or two similar words.
Look, that's
fan. It just kind of sounds ridiculous.
No, that's my exact issue with the Hitman bar. Like, it's not that he said like. It's not like I really turned to mention the Nike slides. It's the fact that like one night I did something in some slippers. I went out in some Nike slippers. And it's like, yeah, if you would have said one night I rode out in some slippers, I turned them bitches Nike slides. Like, it just like, even if it's not a great bar, it sounds a lot better than being like one night I slid out in some slippers.
I don't know. I like sliding. Shout
out Danny though, because it should be a win for Danny. I don't know if the app is going to read that. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that it clips. There few people are really a cheat code for voting metrics. I think we're at the point there might be enough evidence to claim Clips is one of those people.
Absolutely is.
But I do think that although it wasn't the best showing on paper, you know, win over Charlie Clips isn't exactly easy either. So shout out to Danny for what it's worth.
Yeah, shout out Danny. I'm with you, y'all, because we're gonna get this app win. Danny putting the first L on Clips' app record would be a very interesting thing, because that's gonna be a moment, because no one's been able to break through yet, and Clips has had a battle they said he won where he turned into a vehicle for about 30 seconds, and they were like, Clips. I was like, what's happening?
My man really turned into a stalled car.
He did, and they were like, oh, Big Clips got it. Like, when did this happen? So yeah. Let's go, yikers. Let's go. All right, man. Let's get into T-Top and Loso next.
Yeah.
T-Top and Loso. They opened the night up. This was my favorite back and forth of the night. In the building, I still kind of felt that way watching it back. This battle had some highlights. I do see, like, I think one thing with this battle is it kind of goes. They both kind of had some rounds that was downhill, right? Like, the highlights come. I think Loso's highlight is his first round. I really like his first round. T-Top's second round, obviously. But they both had moments where you could tell this is like, okay, this is the round I got. I got this round for you right here. And the other round was like, we're going to get through this. You know, we're gonna get through this, you know? But what y'all think about this? I know it's been a hot topic in the group chats.
I'm not going to lie, man. Like, as the couple of times I've watched this battle, I come away liking it more every time I see it.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's even like a battle of the year contender or anything like that. Like, I'm not sure that by the end of the year there's going to be anywhere near my top 10. I thought this was just a very enjoyable battle. And I thought this was some of the best T-Top I had heard in a while, which was a welcome sight for me. I've always been a really big T-Top guy. So I was like just happy to see T-Top back in pretty good form, and Loso for some of the hiccups or not, like I don't want to say hiccups, but he hasn't had these big breakout big stage performances yet, and I'm not even really willing to say that this one is a breakout big stage performance, but seeing him like comfortable on the stage and seeing that maybe that potential is still there for a Loso rocking a big room thing, like I thought that he still showed that on some level and flashes in this battle. So I enjoyed this. I agree with the kind of downhill sentiment. I think that these guys had maybe some rounds that were a little front loaded too. That once you kind of got past like certain points, maybe like the ending of the round wasn't super strong, and I felt like that was from both of them. Yeah. That being said, I've got to a point where I'm pretty sure I have Loso 2-1. I think this is a very debatable battle. I think it's very close. The first time I watched it, or heard it rather, the first time I heard it, I had T-Top. I had T-Top winning, and now I'm edging Loso. So I think I'm pretty firmly, I think Loso second and third. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually, I have appreciation for when two guys that are on the spot, one of them top tier, and some people debate both, some people debate not both. But when you have two guys that are just good like this, and they go on and just have a good battle, this isn't a great battle. This isn't an average battle. It's just a good battle. And as you said, it's just a hardy, debatable battle, which is kind of what a lot of people expected here. It's not my personal back and forth of the night, although I think it is in that conversation. And it's pretty simple, the result. They did right downhill. The third is both of their worst. That for Loso, T-Top choked, so it makes it extremely easy to score, but neither of their thirds really packed much of anything. And I did like Loso's second. I like the gossip, even though I'm working backwards here. I did like the top gossips, type of angle, the difference between top angle and top angle. I did think it was kind of a short second. It was based on one concept. So if you're not going to knock it out the park, that makes it hard for you. That's T-Top's best round, obviously. And then it comes down to the first, which is extremely debatable. But one thing that, and I personally edge T-Top. I have no problem with anyone edging Loso. But one thing that I see on the votes particularly is, T-Top kind of winning by a pretty hefty margin. I think a big part of that is that as good as Loso was, material there, performance there, his defense I thought was really, really off. Really, really, really off. And it hurt him tremendously, I think. I mean, in the first round, T-Top is, talking a little as T-Top does, making his faces. And Loso talks a little back in the first, so I don't mind that. When you get to the second, and Loso is like outward complaining, T-Top is reacting to his haymaker with his posse, and Loso's trying to like talk to them like it's not really that fire. It really looks crazy on the footage. So I think material-wise, extremely debatable battle. But Loso did some things on that stage, I think just performance and IQ-wise, that is going to hurt him optically to like the mass audience.
Yeah, I feel like I have Loso 2-1. But I was in the building, like seeing Top on the stage, like really in it. I think because he's been in so many small rooms with Kobe, we kind of forgot that dude on the stage that's his place. Unless in Houston. If it's in Houston, it doesn't work.
Yeah, like in Houston for whatever reason, I just don't know. But like, this is the guy that like has like a, I don't know. I don't want to. Some people might argue if it's clear or not, but like has a, I think, pretty clear win over Av, and that's very like clear. Like on a stage. Like that's the type of level of guy that we're talking about when we talk about T-Top. Like he can go out there and do that to someone like Av, who we all agree here. Debatable with Surf, who we all agree Av is a big stage monster. We don't got to say anything about Surf. Like that's the type of stuff that Top can do on a big stage. So like that mesmerizing T-Top effect in the room on a stage is a very, very real thing.
Right. Yeah. And genius play to you, by the way, for being like, I'm giving you the for free. You say I won after the battle. It's a genius play, honestly. Like I caught him say that. Like, you know what? Good play, T-Top. I respect that play. But yeah, this battle, man, I'm similar. I like Loso's first a lot. I think Loso's first was one of my favorite rounds. I love the angles he brought. I love the approaches. It was like when you're able to take a topic that we've all kind of heard, but then kind of bring a new approach to it, like he did with the Mook and Briz fight, and kind of make it kind of funny with the Summer Impact thing about what you need. You need the camera to tell you who Mook and Cal was. Like that's hilarious. And then the the water bottle moment. But yeah, I love that. I like that round a lot. T-Top's round was strong, especially in the building. It was like, oh, this round is crazy. In the building, it felt like round was crazier. It didn't hit to me the same way on cam, to be honest with you, but it was still a good round. But yeah, man, I think like Smoke, man, this is just a good back and forth, right? I don't think this did anything to hurt anybody. I think we need to value this for like being a good battle. It might be a class. This is just a good battle between like two dudes in the South that have been kind of talking back and forth for a minute. But yeah, no one stock got hurt. If anything, I think they probably, it's like, okay, I want to see what you got next, right? I don't think anybody has to go down a plate or anything, but I like this battle. I like the first seconds for sure are the highlights. T-Top second was T-Top can do that, man. That dude, he can just do it. You know, he just makes it happen.
Shout out to Top because I mean I've been one that's as a lot of people have complained that there's been more critique of T-Top, right? And I've been one that said in 2022 that he might have hit maybe the lowest low of his career, which for T-Top is not extremely low. I mean, this is an Iron Man and one of the better battle rappers really of all time on a top 20, top 25 list. So extremely, extremely talented. But I thought a little bit of motivation played into it. A couple bad losses. We can name the Tay-Rock battles, you know what I'm saying? The going back to 2020, the beat-up battles, just more losses than we expected from him. And I was a little worried. And I think recently, from what I've seen, once he hit the Holmesy light work, that was good. The Brandon battle, I heard turned out his way. We haven't seen that yet, obviously, or some of us haven't. And then with Loso, I thought this would be kind of a defining moment for Loso. And like you said, it's not a bad stock hit for him, but T-Top definitely did more than I expected. And coming into this battle, kind of having Loso 2-1 clear, maybe making a statement, I walked away, I'm not going to say confidently, but, I gave it to T-Top. And I think that he genuinely earned that debatable and is earning kind of the results he's getting by the metrics. So that's a big win for him. And I'd love to see who his next opponent is because I think he's getting back into the groove mentally. Yeah.
I think whoever takes him next, be very careful because if you battle him in that stage environment, you better be ready for the fight because you had to bring it. But yeah, man. And I still look at I think I can see Loso taking this battle, seeing what went well, what didn't work, and being better in his next big stage. Which I think his next op, if it is on the stage, should kind of be worried about that. If somebody on this level, they're like, okay, we might get a better version of him this time. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Smo, I think he took, because you remember, I don't know if y'all remember, during up to the lead up, see like the DNA. I don't think Loso was a good angler or one of the better anglers, stuff like that. And Loso, the way Loso rapped this battle, so he did the Michael Jordan meme. He took that personally because he was out there talking like, oh, you got a lot of angles today. Got a good amount of angles. And most of them were pretty solid, right? He had some misses there, but I think when you're trying to angle 3 rounds, it's hard to have just 3 perfect rounds of angles. We had some misses, but I think things that hit, like you said, the top angle thing was solid, but like I said, it was a shorter round. I love everything he did in his first round. But I felt like angle-wise, they were pretty close. And T-Top, it was funny because T-Top didn't bring as many angles, really. T-Top brought more comedic timing, drug Christian flips.
Concepts, direct, tailored angles, but
right.
You know how I know Jesus is black. That's not really directly at Loso, which Loso was bringing the battle a little bit too much. But the concept itself, it's a Christian battler. It's gonna hit. This is not rocket science. So, and that was probably the highlight of the battle. So.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. That was definitely the moment of the battle. So yeah, solid battle, man. Salute to both of them. We'll get this next, man. Let's do Shotgun Suge and Kid Slade. Mm-hmm. This was a fun battle. I just want to say, I like angry Shotgun Suge with something to talk. Shotgun Suge when he has an angle to talk about, and he's really passionate about it. I like that Suge, because Suge's good anyways when he wants to go up there and rap, right? But he had something to say this battle, and he was gonna get it out, and he did it. He executed it very well. The coin flip, I don't know what to do with coin flips, because if your opponent doesn't want to flip the coin, if you want to rap first, your opponent's like, no, flip the coin, and then they flip the coin and pick up the coin anyway. The crowd gonna be on their side. It's like, yeah, they gonna rap. It's like, oh man, I don't know. He wanted the coin flip. So you gotta fight that thing out to the end. If you want to disrupt the coin flip, you gotta fight it. You gotta go up there and be like, no, you gotta make that thing look like Lux and Clips. Just we arguing about this flip for 10 minutes. We gonna argue. What we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw you off somehow. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta fight for that. You gotta fight for that flip, man. Because Slade started the fight, they flipped the coin, Suge just picked up and started rapping. I was like, oh man. Lost already, bro. You gotta fight that thing out. Y'all feel me? Y'all with me?
Yeah, the momentum of it is it's a little thing, and it's like, oh, you really gonna interrupt the battle for 10 minutes? But once you get into the pissing contest, little stuff like that, when you're already probably walking into a hostile situation, you got to move very carefully with every single little movement that you do, even down to, and we'll get to it, but Slade wearing the face mask, it's like every little thing he does is going to be hyper, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to continue to be like that. I don't think that stops after this battle if he continues to get booked. So he's to the way that he battle rap defense, just sit there with a plain face, whatever you're going to do. But he's got to think about every move a little bit more because, like you said, that's extra momentum right there for someone that already had all the momentum in the world.
Right. Yeah, the mask thing was super weird. Cause it really did make it look away. Like while I was sitting there, like, yo, why are you pulling? He's pulling mask over in the middle of the round. What is happening right now?
It was a small piece of time too. I thought maybe it's to hide the face, but the thing is, he didn't just sit there with it stone cold. Maybe that would have made sense. But he's walking around like Spider-Man with the black suit, like he's like feeling his head, like, is this on me? And I don't know why he was doing that. If you're gonna do that, it's to hide your facial expression.
Spider-Man in the black suit's fucking hilarious.
No, that's great.
Yeah, like what's on my body? Like he didn't know. Did someone else put this on me? So I'm glad that only lasted for a short bit. I think he kind of realized like I might look a little crazy up here.
Right.
But I actually think Slade had a good performance too. You know what I'm saying? This is actually my best back and forth of the night. This is my battle of the night pick personally. So
yeah, like despite the fact that I do think there's a clear winner here, like I feel like all of us on a varying level have Suge pretty clear, right? So like despite that, I still had that as my battle of the night. And like my big takeaway is I personally liked how Slade addressed the angle in the first round. Now, was it just rehashing some of the things that he's already said in interviews? Basically, but I also feel like maybe like, you know, there's a level of maybe people there didn't listen to the interview because the interview was like an hour long. So like not everybody was going to listen to the interview. Maybe some people saw clips, but realistically, not everybody in the building sat through like 2 hours basically of Uncle Raw interview time. So I thought it was smart to basically just rehash the story, give us perspective, break it down again, and if people liked it or not, then at least you addressed it that way. But like I felt like towards at some point in that opening segment, he tried to do like a crowd participation thing, thinking that people will kind of like start saying I forget the exact phrase he was saying.
They did.
Yeah, like saying something like that and thinking that maybe they would like start saying it along with him. But it's like, probably shouldn't have done that. But like, I feel like I felt like that's what he was getting at when he was doing that first round. Once he gets past that, he gets rolling pretty quickly. But I felt like because he dedicated that time to the angle and addressing the angle, you could feel like he didn't address it like super great. It feels like the time he actually spends on offense, landing bars back to back to back, it feels like it's not really that much time. And I kind of feel like maybe if Slade wrapped like 30 or 40 seconds longer, building on the momentum that he was building after that initial segment addressing the angle, I feel like maybe at that point we might have a somewhat debatable round. But that's not the case. He didn't keep building on that momentum, stuck it to whatever time limits, and Suge went, and Suge had a great ass round. Like Suge had a fucking awesome round. Like something turn a plug to a three prong, like all types of like all
two
types
in the
of
chest, one in the gut. I'll turn the plug to a 3 prong.
All types of just like crazy off the wall shit. Like for my money, like this is like out of all the Suges that we've seen in the last year, this was by far my favorite Suge.
100%.
Like by a wide margin.
Definitely, at the very least, you know, there's people that could prefer probably maybe Chester Roberts in the convo, but the point is, it's definitely in that conversation, and it goes to show how much his writing has come, bro. Baccarat. New Baccarat. He was not writing like this 2 to 3 years ago. I don't know who got in his ear. I don't know what happened. I don't know. He took a tutorial on, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy to see a legend this far in his career be a pure performer, be mainly based on aggression to the point that physical contact is like half of his gimmick. And now he's writing at like a top 5 battle rapper in the world level. So shout out to him, man. It definitely was as good as advertised. I think Slade probably was a little better than people were giving it credit for.
Yeah.
In a way, I'll use the term, the second and the third are like fake debatable. And what I mean by that is you really look at the content, bar for bar, Slade has shit all through the second and the third. For me personally, I do have Suge winning. I have it a little different than most people. I have Slade edging the second. I actually have Suge edging the third. I thought that Slade, although his third has some good PK makers, there's some dry spots in there. I thought Suge was a little bit more consistent. His rhythm, his pace, even though it's a little bit of a shorter round, it's more concise to me. But I thought Slade had good material in this battle. You know what I'm saying? But Suge, I do understand working a personal angle at that, punches versus direct tailored material. So there's going to be people that say Slade second and third, but no matter how you call it, I think it comes out as a win for Suge to everybody.
And like the angles like that Slade took, right? Like he attempting doing like you're repping a gang that's however many miles away from you. And it's just like, not
the
way to
never worked. never worked.
He landed a haymaker out of that though. That I mean, like the flag football shit they landed out of that. That's pretty fire.
Like I feel like the build, like the way that he like what he gets to is good, but the build up there is like, oh fuck, here we go again. Like more like more Jersey LA shit. Like great. So right. but I think that what he builds to, you get a great bar out of that. My thing with Slade was that like, yeah, Suge has all this to talk about. And maybe this is just me being a high man on his ability, but I'm like, man, like Slade just raps too good. He has just too much good shit that he said as to where like, I just don't think he's going to go out there and get like killed or walked. Even like in a situation where his back is against the wall and someone has all these different things they can say against him and use their advantage, like Suge did. Suge used all those things and wound up having one of his best performances, at least in my opinion, ever. Like this was a great Suge, and he had all these things to play with, and use these things effectively. I still feel like Slade raps so well and crafts things so well that like I'm like, man, I don't think that even standing in front of like a legend having one of his better performances that you got killed. So I feel like one big takeaway: Suge wins. Suge is continuing his momentum. Continue to look like a front runner for Champion of the Year in 2023. But if we're doing like an underlying storyline thing, it's, you know what? Slade took his lumps here. Still fought. You can argue about his defense and maybe his reaction after the battle. Titus was there. He didn't stay for the he didn't stay for the after the battle handshake and picture. Like, so you can like talk about that stuff and Slade needing to work on that. But I think my biggest takeaway is, man, like this guy had his back against the wall here and went against a legend operating on such a high level, and came out with me saying like, man, if you just rap like a little bit longer, I could have maybe argued for you in another round. That being said, I still give Slade the second round, like Smo said, and I wound up having it Suge 2-1. But I thought Slade still showed that he's all right. He's gonna do all right.
All right, so time to be back, I guess. Yeah. So leaving the venue, I was like, that's a 30. Watching it on cam, I'm like, Slade did. I felt better about Slade's performance watching it back than I did at the time, but I still got him getting 30. I got Suge every round.
Oh yeah, like his Suge's second round is when he like really like hammers down on the angle.
Yeah. The second round was like perfect counter writing to like the slow start that Slade had in his first. The start Slade had in his first, like dressing it when he was like, "You were a carrot." He somehow he didn't give anybody time. Like, you were a carrot when so your statement led to
something. That was out of all the Slade dialogue, which we've all like purposely like kind of like stayed out of, for like that was the best reasoning for having an opinion on Slade or a negative opinion on Slade that I've heard.
Yeah, for
because
sure. Yeah.
That was the absolute perfect thing to say. Like, so credit to Suge for that, because like as much as like that angle would hit in any other way, just trying to like, you're a rat. Like him being like, you may not have done this, but like that was a really good approach to that. When you told me that he said, I'm like, man, that's really fucking smart. And like, you know what? You might be right. Like that's the thing here is like, right. A lot of this is kind of like going back and forth on whatever ethics and morals and what you think is what and semantics and shit. What Suge said was like, you know what? That's a good fucking point.
Yeah, right. I think Suge, the genius of what Suge did, right, is that like, we know that the battle rap quick tells like a lot of us are civilians and don't live a street life. I am very much a civilian. So a lot of this Slade conversation was for the privacy of my chats and my conversations. Wasn't bringing up to the public. I don't feel qualified to speak on this. I asked my people in this what they think, and whatever they think, I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds good to me. Cool. But like I think Suge broke down the way with some of those angles. It's like, even as for a civilian audience, they can be like, oh, that makes sense, Suge. That adds up. You know, and I think he did that approach. I even like the thing he said in his first. He was like, "What you did was light, but the principle was even deeper." So it's like he's even acknowledging that, yeah, this might not be the worst thing in the world, but also, you know, maybe it's just, you know, I kind of like that. But yeah, Suge's the energy in Suge. I just think Slade had a hard time matching Suge's energy, man, and I think a lot of people had hard time matching Suge's energy on the stage, but like because he was just on fire, man, from jump. And right. And I feel like the way Slade addressed the angle thing was we all knew Slade had to address it, right? I know he was telling 3 Letterman that I might talk about for a minute. I'm like, bro, telling you right now, if you don't come here and talk about the angle.
No, me and you're like, look, man, if you don't come here and talk about this, I can't defend you.
Right.
I can't. You got to do something. Because if you come up here and just like think that you can just not talk about it like that, like the Tay-Rock battle where you knew it was coming and you didn't do shit about it. Like, like, bro, like I can't defend you if you do this again.
Right. That's just bad battle. Like whether like no matter how you as a person, Slade, like whether you feel like it's nonsense that the way they're talking about everything, and I understand where he's coming from with that, but like as a person, like this as a battle rapper, you're like, you gotta be high. You gotta know you can't just you can't let it go. That's too much. You're not gonna get away with that.
He had a speaking to like how he counter wrote it in the first round. I thought it ran long. Like I thought like the way that he addressed it, especially since it's more of like a straight talk to it rather than like a lead up to a punch or anything. What's funny enough is at the end of his third, few bars I love from this battle. I love the night vision, got everything look like a Game Boy one. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, that was hard.
Brett Favre, the food stamp bar.
Yeah, that was on the.
But he had a bar at the end of his third. The only paperwork I put people's name on is obituaries. And funny enough, it's like that's kind of like the counter-writing punch I think people were looking for. And if you have that bar,
if he
at
like
the end of your explanation, it hits damn near historic. It'll be one of the biggest haymakers night. It's like counter road and let up.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking point.
Bland.
That's a real fucking like if he
because like the first like you said, Q, I felt like he was reacting to interviews, but I also felt like he was just talking to us about it again. Like it didn't feel like it was in a rap format. It was a really slow start.
He was like literally rehashing what he said, and it was like, which I get. Like maybe not everyone watched a 45-minute Uncle Ross sit down. Like, so I understand that, but like Smo said, if you just like find a way to structure it and put the only paperwork I put people on was obituaries, and the midst like, we got something now.
And the momentum is different. The crowd interprets you different now from your first to your third, as opposed to you wrote uphill, but a lot of people realistically, you know, like Titus will say, I'd probably like people say the third is close, but a lot of people you're 2-0 down. And now you have the haymaker that could have changed all this from the beginning. So I think it's little stuff that you got to learn. He's still a new talent. He's been through so much. He's battled Rock. He's battled Suge. The man is still relatively new. So if he keeps getting booked, these are things that he can definitely work on. But we're all looking at it and we're seeing the flaws in it compared to Suge, who I can't give you one structure flaw, maybe a dry spot here or there, but that's battle rap, you know?
Right.
So
this was like some of the best structured material, like best structuring of rounds. Maybe the best structuring of rounds I could argue Suge has ever produced. And like, it might not be the best material he's ever rapped, but in terms of here's my approach and here's how I'm going to attack you, it's might be the best stuff that Suge has done, which speaks to the level he's at. And it's like, man, like if I'm Slade and I see how battle rap has been divided on me and treating me since December, like despite everything going on, if I still can say that like I battled Suge, who's a legend and was operating on this level, and came out like maybe a little touched up, but not beat the fuck up. Like, all right, like you know what, you can figure this out at some point. Like these next few months, these next couple battles still might be difficult, but you came out here like you got touched up a bit, but you didn't get like put in the ground.
Yeah, like. I think he'll have battles he can take. I think it's still about who will take him. Because Suge even said like the bar Suge had when he was talking to Smack and saying like I had to sacrifice my integrity to get the message to you. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that was crazy. Some of his best shit.
It was, man. It really was. It really was. But no, I think Slade will get battles. I'm wondering where his ceiling is because like the structural flaws are there, right? Like we're talking about. I think he's in his last two battles, he brought some approaches that are kind of questionable, like the approach to the Rock, like you said, with the setup with the you repping the LA gang, which is it's never worked. I don't think that setup's ever worked for anybody. And has that worked for anybody in battle rap against the Jersey people? I don't feel like it's worked.
I mean, he angle punched it rather than worked it as an angle in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, like
I thought it kind of worked. I mean, it didn't really change. It didn't change the structure of the battle, but I mean, for the fact that he took the angle and got one good punch out of it, I thought that was decent. But going back to Rock, he has the one about if you surface your man's, why aren't you in jail?
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm like not to say Slade's done, but that's just not. That's
not good. Like. That
makes sense.
Like no, like
it doesn't. None of it adds up.
Yeah, then that's why like I'm like my thing with Slade and why like I'm like so like his material when he just like raps. If he's like, I feel like he has like probably like the best non-direct material in battle rap. Like in terms of like a guy that could just like craft like a bar out of nothing about like just a random drug flip, random shit like that comes out of nowhere. I feel like he spits like some really dope shit that comes out of nowhere that like I could listen to him just rap about like to a rant. Like remember look those old RBE like on site kind of like quarantine shits. I'm like, oh, okay, like he like kind of like really works in a situation like that where he could just rap and like, okay, I'm going along with it. It's really dope shit. But when he's trying to mix in the other traditional battle rap aspects of like angling and things like that, okay, now you don't really got that yet. Maybe you won't ever have that. And if you don't have that, then that's going to be a problem at some point. And I feel like he still raps enough at like a high level as to where like he'll get looks, whether or not that's like Summer Madness and Gnome spots that might be dead at this point. But like it might be, who knows? Yeah. But I think that he's a guy where like I think he just raps too well, has people that support him, women love him, like that, like that's just gonna be a thing. Women were like, nah, like y'all,
they were like, y'all say what y'all want. We here.
Yeah, like so as long as he has that and he can like try to iron out the other wrinkles in his game, I think he's gonna be a guy that's like could be in that higher mid-tier category. You know, maybe like more firmly in that middle-ish Jerry West, whatever category. But yeah. I think we're all in the camp of like we just don't see how he ever gets to that point again. And it's not just because of the angle or anything like that. It is just because like there are kind of like stylistic boundaries that like Easy became that way because Easy's a great angler. If we're comparing him to Easy or T-Top, like Easy and T-Top evolved into great anglers.
Yeah,
and not to say that he can't do it, but it's like Slade just hasn't shown that ability to like modify and transform his style yet the way that those guys did.
Yeah,
and his margin of error is so small. I was just gonna say that like now with how he's perceived too. He's not going to be able to just take a couple clear, growth development losses. Kid Slade goes on a 3-battle losing streak. I would predict he might not even be on URL. So the margin of error is so small that I could see him really just shacking up with what he does good, not trying to grow or take too many risks. And, that's a very good interpretation. He could just kind of give him his own self a ceiling just because of what he's been through at this point.
Yeah. I do cute. That thing you said about having the best indirect material, you heard like Rum Nitty isn't walking on this planet was disrespectful. And
I mean, I'm saying
apologize to everyone.
I guess I know what I said. I don't care about that. That's fine with me.
You like his indirect material more than Rum Nitty?
Indirect? I mean, like no, Rum's like no, because Rum is great. Rum is a great writer in general. So I'm not gonna sit here and like do this whole thing, but like I love Rum's name flipping the way like flips names and all that. Like, granted, Rum can do anything, so it's not that, but just some random bars had nothing to do with the opponent at all. Yeah, I think Kid Slade might be the best at it. I'm fine with that.
Rum does that.
Yeah, I know that he does.
Why are you? God,
you just don't like him. You just don't like him as much as I do. But like, I don't know why you got to do all that.
Rum Nitty said. Rum Nitty didn't. Rum Nitty the one that said in your favorite bar from the read battle. Every time I put my pass on me, the lateral come out. That's not what they got to do a read. What they got to do a read? Nothing. All right. So you need to relax. You're saying things.
We're not going to say player Slade and Nitty. This is going to get out of hand.
That's what I'm saying.
He's just being.
It's a ridiculous thing for you to say right then.
Nah, I mean, I'm going to the next fine standing on whatever I say.
I've had enough of you. I really have. That was insane.
Like I don't know why things just can't. Like, yeah, I like Kid Slade more than you. Like, duh.
No, you said no. It's not that. You can like him more than me. You said he was the best at it, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you saying these terms? I don't know why you use that. That's just a dramatic term to use, but it's fine. Who wants the next battle?
That's not dramatic if that's how I think. If that's how I feel about something.
You shouldn't feel that way. Like as a nitty bull, you shouldn't feel that way. You just shouldn't. You shouldn't feel the way as a nitty bull. It's disgusting. The main event of the night. You said what?
Civil War 4.
That's right. As the main event of the night, John and Don and Chef Trez. The battle to represent the city, represent the North. Shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to ATL. Yeah, man, this was a solid back and forth. I think my thing with this battle for John is that I don't think John necessarily bad in any round. I think he had one of the most egregious OBCs I've ever heard when he used the bar that was used against him. And I was like, yo, what just happened? Yo.
Salt Bay joint.
Yeah, the Salt Bay bar that Big K said to him. And I'm like, yo, how you gonna do that? Like, we don't remember that battle. Some of us remember it. They're degenerates here, John, and we will remember this moment. But but I feel like John didn't give himself a chance to have the crowd like him because he landed his first round like, y'all got to react. I don't need it. It's like, yo, horrible. You just started.
Bad boys.
Right. It's like I feel like he came in expecting the crowd to not be in his favor, and it probably was more pro Trez than John. But I mean, in the lead up, I was kind of saying that. That's why I'm like, yo, this is probably gonna be a bigger Trez audience there than the John audience for sure. But I didn't expect John to come in there, being the vet he is, and just come out and be like, I don't need y'all to react. Y'all ain't gotta do that. Like he came out there really expecting the crowd to not like him. It was like, yo, it's not a good play, bro. It's not. He
would tell them when they reacted. He would tell them when they didn't react, and he doesn't want them to react. And then when they did react, it just looks like. He's historically had issues in ATL. This is something we talked about coming into the battle. As someone that is so big in ATL, Twerk, Chilla, Ace, so on and so forth. So he already is kind of somehow having a home game that's not a home game. And then you start like kind of getting at the crowd 8 bars in. That's not, as a vet, I just don't think that's bad crowd control. There's nothing else I could call that except bad crowd control. And some of those times they were good bars. Maybe it's frustration. I don't know. Maybe it's competitiveness internally, but I thought it was a rough move to do that from the start of your first round throughout all 3 rounds. Right. Like you ain't give the crowd a chance to not sleep on you. Like we were like, oh, we like this. Oh, you don't want us to like it. Oh, all right then. I do want to say I played Hogwarts Legacy, so now I understand the Wingardium Leviosa bar. That was cool. It's cool, John. I look like Harry Potter, so I got that one. That shit was fire.
I seen like
I didn't get it in the building. I was confused in the building. I seen like 2 of the Harry Potter movies. Yeah. Did that like for some pussy. Like I don't know. Really like no like.
That's the joint you lift them with. For those of you listening on Wingardium Levios is a little spell that they lift them with. Which lights up with. You know what I'm saying? You can put it together without sight.
Nah, don't know none of that.
Yeah, I didn't get it, and it was a nice pocket he got into. John, I feel like John did some very good rap. It had some slick wordplay, but like I said, he just he threw the crowd off early. And Trez was on point. And when shout out to the executive suite, shout out to Champion. When Trez and John were arguing the executive suite, and Trez said, all I have to do is up my energy and they're going to say I beat you. And that was like, oh, he knows. He knows what to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He upped his energy. His material was potent and he was on fire. And he was on fire on that battle from round 1 to round 3.
Trez second, I don't think the entire event, like, I feel like the best back and forth round between battlers is probably the second round between Trez and John. And even then, like, I feel like Trez still got that round pretty clear.
Yeah.
Like John didn't have a whack round. Like, I feel like if John might have had my favorite line of the battle in that round.
Yeah, the Jordan 1-6 ring. Jordan won from Chicago, but he won there.
Yeah, that might have been my favorite line of the battle. And like Trez still won that round pretty clear, I thought. Like I'm not gonna lie, like part of the vindication for this battle is just like somewhat like the internal debates that we were having about this.
Right.
So for that reason, I was really happy to see Trez rightfully elevate for this situation. Because with Trez is man, like you can say whatever you want, you can say whatever about him, but like I've seen this guy step up into big spots. And that's like just historically what he's done, whether it was like Volume 3 or the volume against Danny or versus Suge. Like we've seen him step up in the big spots, and he hasn't been in a big spot in a while, right? But he has done that in his bigger spots. He's shown up, he's elevated in his bigger spots. So it just didn't shock me that he would come out here and do that again, especially like in Atlanta, facing John, someone that he was trying to battle back in 2019 when he was still on URL. Like this is something that was a long time coming. So yeah, Trez might not have been the greatest in the world for like the last like 2 or 3 years, but for that moment, that situation at that specific point in time, I wasn't gonna think that Jeff Trez wasn't gonna show up. That's like the battle to show up for. Like
match, home game, everything set up where even if you don't believe he's that guy, he could very well be that guy for this night at the very least.
Yeah. I think Trez is a guy. I feel like he look at Trez and sees how many battles he has and feel like he's just burnt out. But it's like, look, man, you watch those battles, you can tell the difference between when Trez is putting forth a really solid effort and when he's kind of going through the motions and getting out of here. Like you can kind of see the difference. And this was definitely a battle that he was not going to come in and just go through the motions. This is not a go through the motions kind of night. He didn't really want to rebuttal like that. He just came with bars, and his rebuttals that he did do were kind of crazy.
In the second, he had 2 rebuttals at the start of his second.
Those rebuttals in the second round, Jesus.
And one was the stock one. I thought that was good. I will say though for both of them, and this could be because the battle happens last, right? So there's a lot to do with crowd energy, but actually damn near all 3 rounds, I thought both of them kind of had slow opens. Like I thought Chef Trez's first was a little bit of a slow open till he worked up to the bullpen angle, and then he hits the hollows through the mirrors, glass, and windshield, the strip of blood's diabetic. So he hits this clip at the end of his first, and I just think he did more than John. So I probably called it similar to y'all. Even though the second is like competitive, I thought Trez clearly took the first. Right. I am very comfortably giving him the second. To be honest with you, I would damn near call it clear, but at the end of the day, it's more of a consensus thing. If enough people have John, it would be debatable, but I comfortably give him the second. And the third from neither of them is good. But that's my battle. Like I'm not really mad at that, but both of their thirds are bad. John had a couple pause-worthy bars that just didn't need to be rapped. Like that was blowjob. That must have sucked. No.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like
that was
those are risky, and he knows better than that.
That was like DNA versus Sharon shit. That was like
yeah, that didn't need to happen at all.
Yeah, he was a couple more really weird sexual innuendo wordplay things away from like some DNA Sharon shit.
He wasn't bad. He did not have a bad I will say that
didn't. There's not
twice, and it actually aged me better the second time. At first, I'm like, this is a whack John performance. I'd say that this is like a standard one, knocking the rust off, but there is some things that you can clearly see he is knocking the rust off. OBC is always going to be a part of that. When you're not around the game, you're not going to know what's really accepted to be said right now.
Well,
you don't agree?
Well, my point would be like, hasn't that always kind of been a John thing?
It has, but it was really blatant versus Trez. As Titus said, I mean, we're talking about haymakers that are famously used against him that he's saying. Like it's a little more there's like a lack of shame. Like
that's some battle rap CTE going on for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let me talk to the chef. Like a couple bars where it's like, these are famous lines.
Yeah,
these aren't even like in between.
It's like, bro, you're like blatantly like damn near biting at this point.
Right. But his second was good. And besides pause-worthy bars, there's a lot. I think, I'd love to see him versus a Fonz next or someone of that nature. I think that this is a good area for him right now, skill-wise to battle. I don't think easy is. I know that he's been talking about that, but I think there's a couple great matchups still out there for him to keep knocking off the rust, getting into the groove. But that just comes with being active, man. Battling once every year or so. He keeps coming back. Like after being away from the game, and I think that's why he's kind of came back to a few losses. You give him 2 or 3 battles, this is a legend in his own right, man. This is John the Don. So I expect him. I thought he was decent in this, although I have Chef Trez winning, and I expect him to get better as the battles go on. He keeps getting booked.
Yeah, I feel like y'all kind of had Trez winning kind of clearly. The third round with Smo, I think it's end of the night combined with this was definitely the last battle booked. It's one of those things, right? Like last battle book, they had the least amount of time for the main event, which seems kind of wild, but it feels like that was the last battle book for this card.
Trez's third is nothing. I mean, John didn't win it by default. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had a little bit more than him, but definitely 2 male than thirds.
Right, yeah. It definitely felt like that was a battle that was booked last for sure. Just the way that third went. But yeah, man, I think Trez with the freedom wave, but that man bothered you so bad you might be on his case. I was like, oh, wow. That was
the ace, Joker, deuce, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He had a couple where it was definitely flashback Chef Trez, extremely competitive, like a high quality haymaker. He didn't really rap with too many different flows. I know that was stressed actually in the executive space, which I'm a part of. Where somebody had said that, Trez would out rap him. And, that could be interpreted differently, rapping ability versus content. And John, I think, took that to heart with the rapping ability part, but the content part was always the separation. And to me, that's the biggest part. If you compare their best haymakers, Chef Trez is just saying infinitely more creative shit in those first 2 rounds, in my opinion. And that's why I think he's going to win the metrics and why he won to us.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what he does next. What kind of play he takes next. Hopefully he gets another solid name, or like I I won't mind seeing Trez versus like a Sheed. I won't mind seeing John versus Sheed either. Like, I don't want to see how these guys versus Sheed.
Yeah, I was just talking about like potential John battles, and you had said Fonz. Like in my head, I'm thinking of like Fonz, Sick, Sheed. For like,
I like those matchups.
Absolutely, all three of those matchups they're not names that you're like going way down to battle. You know what I'm saying? Like these are guys that are very respected, and a lot of people would probably have you losing going in. He's got a little bit of an expectation curve, and we all know he is very much so capable of beating a Fonz or beating a Sheed. So for him to go in there, maybe we'll be down 60-40, and that brings out the motivation to bring out a great John. But that skill level right there, and if those guys beat him, that's a badge that can make them top tier. I think that's a win from both sides, and I think that although this is probably some would debate his fourth, maybe fifth loss in a row. Technically, I think that there's actually really good things on the horizon if he keeps getting booked correctly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking for Trez though, and I don't know why this is the first battle that came to mind, but like I kind of want to see Trez and Av, but like I'm not sure why that sounds appealing to me. Like. And I'm not even doing it on like some old like cave gang thing. It's just those guys never crossed paths.
They didn't.
Like those are guys that like coming up at the same time. You were like, oh yeah, that battle never happened. That's weird. Like that's a battle that should happen.
True.
And like I kind of want to see it for those reasons. I just want to see Trez in battles that make him motivated. Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not saying you have to give Trez all the biggest battles in the world, but I just want to see him put in positions where he feels motivated to want to come out there and like really care about battle rap. Like
sure.
That's really just a primary.
We can see the difference because we know what it looks like. We know what it looks like.
Yeah, like now more than ever, we know what the difference is. Like you can go to whatever like random battle in fucking Mississippi or some shit, but like that shows that this was the level of effort he gave there, and this is the effort he gave over on URL in a big spot versus John.
Right. Started the John battle saying, this isn't the Nun Chef Trez. It's an instant. He knows the flip.
Yeah, he knows up. Right.
And it's not like you can, I don't necessarily think he's in a point either where it's like, oh, well, all I get is top tiers. You know, you're going to have to, you're going to get booked around a little bit. That's the type of contract I think we saw. But Av that's someone that I think that we all agree probably would take the battle, you know what I'm saying? But around that top tier level of opponents, tough. He has battled a few, the Chesses, the JCs that would fit the shows. He's kind of filled up a lot of it. But, any top tier that's available, I think Chef Trez could be on a redemption like cards, these good cards, these traffics that are still solid cards, and he's just going to give you a good performance as long as you respect him and he's not getting being used as a gatekeeper or something of that nature. And after a win like this, he's earned enough earnest for his next battle to not be that. So excited to see what he does as well.
And if y'all want to bring another, event to Atlanta and have another like Southern main event, Trez and Swamp is right there and it is readily available. And South Carolina pulls up. They're gonna be there, so it'll be a real South Carolina and Atlanta affair, and it will be. I think that's a great battle to book. They want to do another card in the South that's not like a King versus Queen, something like that. They won't put that in the South.
And it's been booked before, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Which I believe was supposed to go down in Atlanta. That was going to be in Atlanta too. So for it to be, either way, that I don't know. Maybe Swamp's talked about wanting, main events. He's talking about maybe him and Trez do either get higher up on the card, get a little pay grades. It's about with these guys, especially. I know you got to keep the top tiers, meet their needs. There's a lot going on with a lot of different battle rappers making demands, but you do have to book these guys right, because if that gets lost up and you have Chef Trez and Swamp, walking away or feeling like they're being underutilized, that is going to bite you in the ass. Those are guys that can fill out multiple cards per year, so that would be another great battle.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. So I think that's the whole card, man. Solid event. Glad it dropped in a timely manner. People didn't forget about it. People still very interested in watching it. So shout out to Redemption 2, solid event. Shout out to URL. Thank y'all for coming to Center Stage and bringing another event to Center Stage on Sunday. Because Center Stage, I love Center Stage. I love sitting down to enjoy battles, man. That's just a great feeling. It's just beautiful. So yeah, man. Redemption 2, that's the card. We got anything else y'all want to hit before we get out of here?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, coming out of this, did you have any matchups that you wanted to see, or was it just kind of like, this is a good card, I'm satisfied with what I got here, and didn't really think much about it? Was there anything where you saw someone's performance and you were like, okay, I have a battle that I want to see coming out of this?
A few things I want to see. I want to see Swamp versus competition that's going to motivate him too as well. I feel like Swamp did his. I think the thing with Swamp, whenever Swamp takes a bad loss, he does one of these he does a penance battle Like they make Swamp be having to do penance battles immediately. It's like, okay, you gonna go out here and you lost to the Saga. You look bad in the Saga battle. Go battle Qleen now. Do it. Like he does that. So I kind of want to see him against another top. Or no, like Trez or like some of that stuff. I feel like is a solid matchup. Trez, Calico. Yeah, Calico's interested in battling them.
That might be the next one, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Even Goods was expressing some interest in battling the Swamp. Recently, so I'm not mad at that either. I think Swamp and Goods is very interesting.
That Swamp and Goods is like the biggest fucking culture war ever.
Oh, absolutely. That's
oh my god, that is like,
divisive.
You like, I like you already like be saying like hella New York slander and shit, but like Swamp and Goods would make you slander New York in a completely different way. Like
that's gonna be a confusing battle.
Yeah,
it will be
extremely.
That. yeah. I'm only gonna slander if Good starts it. Good starts it then. And the South will finish it.
But in terms of earned matchups coming out of this, or at matchups I could foresee, I mean, one of them, which is one that I was asking for before, and it just got a lot harder. But man, I think that Easy the Block Captain versus Suge is something that we've talked about. We're on the horizon now. They're now obviously is a little bit more difficult now. But either way, someone else that he called out, because I do love that Suge is still going for Cody in 2023, following up the great years. He's shouting at Hollow, and if anybody hasn't noticed, man, Hollow is being unusually active. This man already has 2 3-rounders on the year. Possibly, is over here taking shots at Ward, taking shots at Suge. And that's something that probably might be a little more realistic than the easy plate. And I'm just big on, if the guy is being great, you have to give him like great plates if he's really feeding the brand. And that's a god tier level plate that would be good for Suge. And outside of that, I mean, I agree with the Swamp take, but the rest of it, there's going to be some relocation, man. There's going to be some guys going to gatekeep, Qleen, possibly. You know what I mean? There's going to be some guys that are going to have to keep. Loso didn't change life for himself. He's going to keep getting booked the same. But more than anything, give Suge another big time plate and Swamp another big time plate. And outside of that, man, that's we'll see what happens with the rest of the card.
Yeah. That's about where I'm at. Yeah, man. That's Redemption 2. Great event. Shout out to the consistent app drops that's been happening, because battles are coming out at a consistent rate. So y'all really can't do the whole, they aren't dropping battles on the app thing anymore. They are dropping battles on the app. If you don't want to watch the battles, that's your thing. But battles are dropping. So can't really use that complaint anymore. I'm going to tell you that. There's content for you if you are a degenerate to watch. But yeah, Battle Academy, call Remy, and get the Easy and Suge battle booked. Call me, do that, please. But thank y'all. But yeah, man, I think that's it for us, man. At LTBR Podcast on Twitter, let's talk battlerapp.com, at LTBR Podcast on Caffeine. We almost got 20,000 followers on Caffeine. Y'all know that?
It's incredible, man. The love is overwhelming, and we appreciate all of it.